welcome to another bonus episode. We just might, I don't know, maybe we'll make this a thing. Do like our weekly kind of, episodes about makers, and then we do one about like an industry update. That'd be kind of cool. Because this is, we're in kind of the holiday season for 2020. And there's going to be a lot of things coming out. But before we get into that, let's talk about our supporter, 3D Musketeers. If you have an idea that you want made real, or you are a business that has a particular problem, maybe it's about product development. That's probably how you found us. Reach out to us. All that information will be in the description. You can reach us at 3dmusketeers.com. There's also a little ticker going across. If you are watching us on YouTube, you can see all of our active social media stuff there. But Twitter, something that's coming up, but we don't own the at 3D Musketeers Twitter handle, and I don't know who does. It has never made a tweet. It was grabbed in September of 2015, which was before we made 3D Musketeers. So it's like 3 months before we made 3D Musketeers. So I'm a little peeved about that. So we're at 3D_Musketeers on Twitter. But we're just going to talk a little bit about the kind of updates that we saw. Prusa released an update the day before our holiday episode went live, and it was 2 days after we recorded it. So this one caught us off guard. They're going after this iPhone naming scheme here, the MK3S Plus and the Mini Plus. They have a new steel sheet available, and then a little teaser at the end that I think all you gearheads out there will enjoy heavily. So this was aptly timed, and part of me thinks this was because of what was going on with the Mini. So the Prusa Mini. Oh, is there Bailey?
It's Bailey.
Hi, Bailey. It's hard being her.
It is. She has a hard life.
The incessantly whiny dog.
The Prusa Mini, though, you were saying.
Yes, the Prusa Mini. So the Mini has had, let's call it, not the greatest release. And unfortunately, this is all too expected from Prusa at this point, right? The first version of all of their printers, the users are kind of the beta testers. And
right.
You know this, right? You know this when you're buying into it and you're getting it at a better price. Well, the Mini Plus launched 2 days before their, or 3 days before their Black Friday deals, which are currently ongoing as we speak. And I guess I will have to release this before Black Friday is over. But oh well, we're not going to get into it. Too bad. Likely when you're listening to this, the Black Friday deals for Prusa are over, but that's okay. The prices of theirs are still very, very good. The Mini. So the Mini was plagued by some bed level sensor problems. It used the old Minda sensor and not the Pinda sensor. You got a problem with your printer?
Yeah, the first, it all came detached.
Well, hey, let's roll here.
Yeah.
What's your first layer speed?
I have no idea right now. Let me check.
If it's more than 35, you should slow it down.
I'm sure it's not higher than that. Sorry to interrupt. Let me see.
No, dude, hey, this is what the bonus episodes are all about. We off the cuff these bad boys, and
first layer speed is 30.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, so
Maybe
that didn't turn
higher.
out so faster?
That's a really small touch surface to the build plate, right?
It does not have very high surface area, no.
Add a brim. Add like a 3 or 4 millimeter brim.
I'm going to have to.
Yeah, you're going to have to trim it.
It's okay.
But if you're not getting good adhesion, are you cleaning the bed with anything for the PLA?
Yeah, just
you wipe it with Windex, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the right move to make.
All right. Let me just reslice it with a brim.
Okay. Well, while you're doing that, I'm going to talk a little bit more about the kind of the issues with the Mini. So the Mini was using the old Minda sensors, and if you've been following Prusa for a long time, the Minda sensor is what came out with the Mark II. It had a problem. It is temperature can affect how its accuracy, right? It can affect how accurate the device is. So if you were printing over and over and over again without letting the printer cool, you weren't getting an accurate bed level reading every single time, and there would be a fair bit of drift causing layer adhesion problems, similar to what you're going through, Tad. But that's more,
Exactly.
that's more user error, and it's
I
not
was gonna
really anything
say
to do with the printer.
it's my fault.
That's okay. And I guess if you guys haven't noticed yet, it is just Tad and myself tonight.
Thomas is busy.
Thomas is busy, and we wanted to get this episode out there. And I think realistically, this is more of a you and I thing, anyways. Thomas is not huge into the machines yet. We're gonna.
Yeah, he's got to get his own. I think he would like it.
I think a mini would be good for him. I should tell him
I
that,
think so.
because they're on sale right now.
Yeah.
But the
I
mini's
think
gonna be
so.
coming with a kit out soon. But we're gonna get into that. So the mini had the Minda sensor, and they talk all about it in their November 2020 update. But their big thing was, look, we just can't make the Minda work, and it's not worth it anymore. So
Yeah.
they go to the Super Pinda, which of course is out of stock. It was in stock when I looked, throughout the time here. But the Super Pinda is supposed to solve all of the issues from the Minda and from the current Pinda that is on the MK3S. Now, for those of you that have an MK3S, it is stated very clearly in this document that you do not need to get the upgrade. There are some good features for the MK3S, but if your MK3S prints fine, you don't need to spend money. If you want to print the extruder upgrades that are just printed parts, totally do it. We're going to do it on at least one of ours and just make that 1 hour flexible. But their big thing was to really handle the issue with flexible filament that they've had. And this is the thing, right? The MK3S and the Mini, they're not perfect. This is, and I say it's not like a 2D printer, but I just tried for like 3 days to get my 2D printer to scan, and yes, it can scan, but for some reason, it doesn't want to freaking scan, so it's not gonna scan. Not peeved about that at all. For those of you that are having that same problem, Office Lens, great app. We've got. Excuse me, it is late and I am tired, but I really wanted to get this out there because this is really cool. The Mini now is getting the Super Pinda, as is the MK3S. They're both getting the Super Pinda, so which is really cool. One, on the Prusa side, because, hey, it's one probe that works for both machines. But two, because it means if you have both an MK3S and a Mini and you break a probe, it's
You
the
have
same
another one.
part. You can't
Yeah.
buy the wrong part.
Mm-hmm.
There are some other changes.
Yes.
So let's see if they have a photo of it.
By the way, my video is going to cut out for one moment.
This is why we can't have nice things.
I know.
Just
It's
don't
because
leave the call.
I'm not leaving the call. I just need this USB port for a minute.
We need to get you a
Don't-
USB splitter.
Don't judge me.
Good lord. No, we both need new computers. That's what we need.
I need one that has like 15 USB ports.
Or just a couple of 10 gig USB-Cs so you could put like a 9 or 11 port USB hub on.
I know.
For those of you that are computer savvy out there, Tad and I are both running Intel 4th gen CPUs and GTX 700 series graphics cards. So that should give you an idea of where we're sitting. But the nice thing is we're both running kind of the upper echelon of the 4000 series and the upper echelon of the 700 series. And neither of those components are slouches, right? They both have lots of horsepower, even still today. Yes, it's nothing compared to a 10900K or a 5950X, but they're also really cheap. So
I was going to say.
Yeah, we both built our computers when they were likely top of the gang, and they ain't fighting in a heavyweight or nothing, but they'll hold their own in a featherweight fight. Anyways,
You could do worse.
Yeah, I think the big thing that a lot of people might be hemming and hawing about, and initially we were too, the price of the Mini has increased. The Mini is now $399 US, and realistically, it is 419. The Mini has the accessory of a filament runout sensor. It is not stock. It is an accessory. It's $20. Buy it. If you are spending $400, spend the extra 20. You're not going to regret it. It will be very, very useful for, working on the machine and being able to run it. I'm not going to say unattended, but you'll have the confidence that you won't have to watch it all the time. So they are looking at an assembly kit. So I'll open that up right now. In the assembly kit, currently the Mini is like a 30-minute or less put together. It does not need any major assembly, but they've never
30
offered
30 minutes.
Yeah, it needs no major assembly. It comes in like 3 pieces.
That's crazy.
Well, that was the idea of the Mini. It's a good printer for beginners that don't want to go through the up to 12 hours that an MK3S can take. So they're going to be offering a Mini kit that will be similar to the MK3S, where it's going to be a lot. It'll take a minute for it to do its thing, and that's going to be $349 US. They're expecting that to go on sale sometime in January, from what I'm told. Yep, we'll bring you the kit in early 2021. You can visit the store page right now and use the notify me when available option to receive a notification. Whew. Jeez. Yawning like
You gonna
crazy
make
today.
it?
Oh yeah, no, I'll make it. Oh man, we're getting the yawns. At least
You've done it.
Hey, at least we're both not psychopaths. Or no, it's not psychopath. What's the
Sociopaths.
Sociopath. There it is. Yes,
Yeah.
sociopath.
Lacking in empathy.
Yes, the lacking in empathy. Anyways, so there's gonna be an option if you want to go back to that $349 US price point. Prusa did everything they could to get you back there, but as far as I'm concerned, it's not worth $50. Get the mostly assembled Mini for $400. And I was a little miffed because we were looking at buying 4 Minis, and I was looking at buying them the day before Thanksgiving. I said, the Monday, or maybe it was early on that Tuesday, to buy them. Had I done it, we would have saved money. I actually spent more money now, and any Mini kit that hasn't shipped is going to get the Mini Plus upgrade totally free of charge, which is really cool of Prusa to do.
It is nice.
So, like, from a business standpoint, I'm a little upset because the 4 Minis that we bought cost us an extra $200. But with how the business works, that money's not going to really matter within a month of owning those printers. So I'm not too
it's going to pay
concerned.
for itself.
Right. It's going to pay for itself. And for it to not need a further upgrade, and for us not to have to deal with some of the BS, totally fine. The other big change, and for those of you watching, there's a picture of the Super Pinda. It looks just like the Minda and the Pinda sensor. You really won't know the difference. But it makes the mesh bed leveling easier. I'm seeing if I can pull up. There's the other big thing. And what we're seeing is an MK3S bed. And I'm using the zoom feature because enhance. No longer is it U-bolts that hold on the LM8UU ball bearings. So they're using this appears to be like a bent piece of sheet metal to hold in the ball bearings. And I would say outside of putting in all those bed spacers, the freaking LM8UU ball bearing mounts that were those U-bolts was some of the most frustrating things that you had to do when assembling.
They were kind of janky looking.
It was so janky, but it worked.
Yeah.
And now they've also removed the zip ties on the smooth rods for your Y-axis, and it is now all fully printed, which I think is pretty darn cool. So big props to Prusa for that, right? That's not a huge change, and if your printer's running fine, you don't need to change it.
Yeah, but the upgrade will exist.
It's really cool, and all new machines are going to have it. They did make an extruder change to the MK3S that will allow it to get, uh, better airflow
Mm-hmm.
and a tighter filament path for flexible filament. And the filament runout switch, which is inside of the extruder, is supposed to be much nicer.
Hmm.
Um, they're also discontinuing the 2.5 upgrade kits as of December 2020. So um, through December 2020, you will be able to buy the 2.5 upgrade kit for go from the MK2 to the MK2.5. After that, no more. And that makes
Hmm.
sense, right? The MK3 has been out now for 2 years, maybe 2 years. It's been out for a minute, and
Mm-hmm.
it's time to move on. Um, they've also introduced the new satin steel sheets. So we have a few of the textured sheets here, and I really don't like them. To a point where I told Tad not to buy one for his printer because I'll just send him one.
Yeah.
Because I have like four, maybe, no, I have three of them here. And we don't use them because PLA doesn't stick to them. And okay, it can, but really small stuff doesn't. And PETG has a much higher tendency to warp than it does on the smooth sheet. And I love the surface texture. I love that rippling texture that you get from it, but it's
Mm-hmm.
not worth the extra BS to us. So we run the smooth sheets. Well, they're introducing a satin steel sheet that is powder coated.
Hmm.
Um, and I guess this is a good in between. They're saying between
Yeah.
uh, the smooth, and the regular textured sheet. It's somewhere
So
in
just a
between.
little bit of texturing.
Right, right. So I actually ordered one of these with our mini,
Mm-hmm.
so that we are able to kind of take a look at it. If we like it, the next MK3S we order, I'll order a few of them with it.
Mm-hmm.
Although, from what I can tell, we likely will not be ordering any more MK3S printers. Um, we have six. They're really, really great machines, but I'm told from user experiences, the mini is, if you don't need high temp, like if you don't need to run polycarb, which apparently the mini
Mm-hmm.
can do, but only Prusa's PC blend, uh,
Mm-hmm.
and you don't need the 9 by 8 by 8 inch build area, the 7-inch cube of the mini is actually pretty good. And honestly,
How often do you use the full build volume?
I literally used it 3 times in the past week.
Okay.
So yes, there are a lot of times that we specifically use it, but most owners won't.
All right.
Most owners
Your
just
parts are
won't.
going to take up some small percentage of it.
Right, right. So Prusa Printers got a big update as well. So Prusa Printers is Prusa's answer to Thingiverse being a hot, steaming pile of garbage. Thingiverse
Mm-hmm.
is garbage. It is owned by Stratasys, which is also garbage. You should not use them. You should go to prusaprinters.org if you are looking for models. But now they have a 3D model viewer, which is great. Um, and they've also done an uploader right from Thingiverse. So if you have a Thingiverse profile, you can upload all your stuff right into Prusa printers. Um, they have also added two silk or shiny, as they're calling it, materials:
Mm-hmm.
the Oh My Gold and Viva La Bronze
Hmm.
PLA blends, which I hear are absolutely gorgeous. I have seen those colors kind of over video, and they're gorgeous.
Mm-hmm.
So, as always, they did free shipping on everything over $200, which is awesome. A 20% discount on smooth and powder coated PEI sheets, which was funny because we wanted at least one of the textured beds for the mini. It was cheaper to add the bed separately than it was to bundle it with the printer
How that makes
because
sense, I don't know.
they didn't update it. So it's still a $30 add-on to the printer, but it was a $23 add-on if you did it through the parts store.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'll save my $6 where I can. And the big deal for us was free shipping on orders over $200. It's
Right.
$40 to ship a mini and like 50 to ship an MK3S.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of money. And we bought 4. We were going to buy 6 because we thought we could fit 6 along one of these 72-inch long shelves. You cannot.
Mm-hmm.
You can fit technically 4, but we can probably push it to 5 if we really wanted. You would need 75 inches to fit 5.
That's a lot.
So, and it's because the printer is not that much smaller. It's just built differently. So that's why we're really excited to have it.
Yeah.
Something that I think a lot of people missed is the literal last line. And by the way, because we have more time to work on the XL, we've decided to add tool changing to it. Oh my lord.
That's going to be impressive.
The hype is so freaking real with me. So real. First off,
Yeah.
the XL is slated to be 400 millimeters X, Y, and Z. So that's 16 inches X, Y, Z. And we have a printer that is 16 by 16. It is half a meter in the X and half a meter in the Y for its like actual floor space.
Mm-hmm.
And ours is a meter tall, so we made a big one. But tool changing, E3D, you better watch your back. Prusa's coming for you. There are some machines out there that do tool changing. The E3D tool changer kind of being the biggest one. That's the only one that I've had a lot of experience with in helping Brad. If you don't know who Brad is, go back and watch episode 10. You jerkbags, you haven't listened to episode 10 yet. What the hell's wrong with you? That episode's awesome because Brad's in it. We're gonna have him back, by the way. I think he's gonna be kind of like a regular on the show. I think that'd be kind of cool.
That would be good.
Yeah.
I think that would be a benefit to us.
And to him, help him talk more to the community. I'm excited. And so in the Prusa live stream, they talked all about it. Oddly, the guy in the middle here, the one with the beard, he was the one that showed me all the new colors. He hosts a weekly hangout from 9 p.m. to midnight Eastern every Friday. So, which is actually normally when we record our podcast. So we are now changing the time that we record the podcast.
I mean, we got to do what we got to do.
But man, tool changing.
That's going to be something special.
The hype is real. So normally I would be like, let me be first in line to get one of these. I'm waiting. As much as I want big freaking Prusa prints and as much as I want to have it, I've seen how difficult tool changing is. And I can imagine it's a nightmare.
It's mechanically complex.
If everything does not work perfectly,
it's going to
then
go to
it
hell.
just doesn't work at all.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a huge problem.
Yeah.
So really, really excited about all the updates. I guess I am still a little bit bummed. I know why Prusa raised the price on the Mini, right? They likely weren't seeing the profit margins that they wanted to see, and all the extra R&D, and now the new prices of the parts.
Mm-hmm.
I can look at it from both sides. I can look at it and say just, fine.
Yeah.
Fine.
We'll absorb it.
But I'm not happy.
No, of course not.
But I will gladly still pay it because I know these machines are worth absolutely that much and more. So yeah, I'm kind of really excited to see where things go here. The new mini kits, which will be out, kind of Q1 of 2021 for $349.
Yeah.
But dude, the freaking tool changing on an XL, that would be dope. I mean, honestly, the Taz would leave if that was it. Well, I mean, I guess it would. I still have a bunch of 3 mil. Really, the big thing about that is those machines are big.
Mm-hmm.
Really big. And I don't have a lot of space in here. Likely resin would be moving at that point. We would move it to a smaller shelf.
Mm-hmm.
Because, yeah, I want those, and I want those bad. Because a 16-inch cube printer, That's a bad mamma jamma. I'd actually probably put the minis up top and then put the XLs. You could probably, maybe if you're lucky, fit 3. No, you'd be able to fit 2. And that's it. Damn.
There's not the space for it then.
Yeah, there's no space. Anyways, let's move on. Let's move on to the other thing that people are talking about. The Naomi Wu special. The Creality print mill. The 3D print mill. Which Naomi has put her name on. Naomi is best known for her role as the sexy cyborg. If you are under the age of 18, don't look it up. If you're over the age of 18, whatever. I don't really care at this point. But she's been so awesome in this community. She's been a huge, huge help when it comes to open source. Creality is kind of on my shit list. One, they build cheap ass printers. Two, they were absolutely violating GPL and open source guidelines. They were utilizing open source firmware, Marlin specifically, without like giving anything back. You're supposed to share your source code when you're done.
No credit.
And no, it's bullshit. You don't do that. That's not nice.
No.
And that just left me with a bad taste. And the original Ender 3 was an absolute hot steaming pile of garbage unless you did a bunch of upgrades to it. And they don't get away from these damn 8-bit boards, like these old Melzy style boards. And yes, the MK3S does use an 8-bit board, and the screen is roughly the same level of jank. But the interface is just so much better. Now, the idea of a belt printer is not new. I've worked on belt printers before. It was a MakerBot Thingomatic, which was a 3D printer that was laser cut out of wood. And they're calling it the CR30, but its name is really the 3D print mill, and it's Naomi Wu's 3D print mill. She's put her name on it, which tells a lot. It means she's putting her name up against this. So it is an FDM technology. Its print dimensions are 200. Well, no. I guess it's calling Z its belt.
Yeah.
So is it 200 wide, 170 tall? I guess.
And then infinity.
Yeah, infinity in length.
Because I'm seeing like a picture of a looks like an I-beam that's just, you could go on forever.
Yeah. The big I-beam thing. And yes, you can do that as long as you can support it post-print, right? You can theoretically print that long. The heat bed is capable of 100 degrees centigrade, and the nozzle is capable of 240. That means it is not an all-metal hot end. Creality, stop it. People are willing to spend the money. Stop it, stop it, stop it. Stop putting cheap-ass hot ends on your printers. Stop it. Put all-metal hot ends. I don't give a damn if it's a real E3D, if it's a clone, if you, for some reason, decide you want to support Slice Engineering. Do not steal from them. Dan and his team are awesome. But E3D stuff is open source, so whatever. They expect clones to exist. Slice Engineering does not. But 350 watt, 350 watt rated power, not bad. And kind of everyone that we've seen reviews from so far, they don't hate it.
Yeah.
They don't love it, but they don't hate it. Belt printers are different, right? Your standard ideology of 3D printing goes out the window. It's gone. Just throw it out. Because supports don't work the way they used to anymore, right? You can print a completely flat overhang because the printer sees it as being at 45 degrees. If you're looking at the photo, the printer's like a big
A-frame. It's
A-frame.
going like this.
Well, okay, our audio-only listeners don't know what going like this means, but the print head moves up and down at a 45-degree angle.
Right.
Which
goes up and down the part.
Right. It enables it to print indefinitely. But there are some things you have to watch out for. if you are printing, so this is great if you're doing production of smaller parts, but you
Yeah.
have to make sure you put enough distance in between them, or when the print head comes back down to start again, it smacks into the part. Which I don't know why they did a A-frame belt printer. I would have rather seen a standard up and down style belt printer with just a belt on it, right? Instead of a
Right.
instead of a Cartesian bed, it's a belt.
Yeah.
That's what the Thing-O-Matic had, and I'm sure this is to mitigate the need for support material. At least that's my assumption. I don't honestly know why companies do it this way, but a lot of the newer ones do. But the Thing-O-Matic's belt, it had such a tiny build plate, so it used a piece of Kapton tape as its belt.
I love it.
But that was great because all you needed to do was put a little ramp, and it would move, it would spin the belt, the part would kick off, and then you could just start the code again. And with this, you have to look at doing different supports. So
Yeah.
Prusa Slicer does not yet support it. I'm sure people will have profiles for it, but I guess they have their own version of Cura that will support it. Just to give people an idea here, the it's on Kickstarter right now. It's got 16 days left, so probably about 2 weeks back when we post this episode. $738 basically will get you the print mill and the outfeed table. So not bad, but I'd rather have an MK3S personally. Like I know what this is like. I know what it's like to be a beta tester for a Chinese company. It might go well, but chances are it's just not.
Yeah. And you're gonna have to live with those issues. Yeah.
I'm not going to say it's a bad printer. It's got pretty good reviews from people that are statistically very, very hard on Creality, and rightfully so. I believe that Creality deserves a lot of the crap that they're getting. I truly believe that they do. But to their credit, they are trying. The print mill is not a kit. It comes separated into 4 main parts for shipping. The base, the front, the rear, and the control panel takes less than 30 minutes to attach everything using standard Allen keys that are included. If you are watching on YouTube, you'll be able to see a little GIF right now of the print mill making some benchies. There have been some talks regarding the, longevity of the bed. There it is, the longevity of the bed. So it features, it is a Core XY. Okay. So it's a Core XY, it's just turned 45 degrees. And they're right. It is more costly than other options, but it offers the best combination of stability and speed. And that's completely true. Here's a video here of it's a little GIF of something being made. But the rolling Z-axis is a nylon conveyor belt designed for industrial assembly lines, expected to last years with regular use. The belts are $45 and swap out in less than 10 minutes. So,
I guess there's an argument for that then.
Yep, and you can buy just the belt. So if you want to make your own belt printer, if you don't like the way that Creality does things, you are welcome to just buy the belt from them and go ahead and build the rest of it yourself. So interesting to see that they did use a Core XY motion system. I'm happy about that because Core XY really does reduce the kind of overall BS that you deal with. They're still using a Bowden style extruder, which
yeah.
I don't like Bowden. They have their own software called Creality Belt. Please, someone that owns or is going to get a print mill, please make a file to do a TPU belt on the belt printer so I can have a Creality belt while running Creality belt while using my Creality belt 3D printer. That'd be crazy meta, and that would be beautiful. Mind you, we will likely not be buying one.
Yeah.
I don't care if I have to spend quite a bit more money and get it later on. If it is good, I have no desire to be a beta tester. We had, and I like, I'm going, so for those of you that are listening audio only, I'm going through their Kickstarter right now, and they're giving, credit where credit is due. And that's the nice thing about this. They're doing all the things that they should have done previously. Now that Naomi's kind of up their ass about it, they just kind of have to get their stuff together. So,
Well, they certainly had better.
Right, and Naomi is an absolute sweetheart. We love working with her. She's extremely kind. Of course, being being someone that's lived in China for many years, her English isn't great, but that's honestly the hardest thing to get past with her. Otherwise, she is completely awesome to work with. And she is all about the community and supporting the community. And she has stuck her neck out plenty of times to these companies that are abusing the open source software. So, yeah. I mean, I'm still kind of scrolling through their Kickstarter here. They're expected to ship in March of 2021. So they're saying that if all goes well,
we'll be seeing them then
in May early is what they say. Now, of course, this is all dependent on what happens with coronavirus.
Right.
Coronavirus is still very much a problem. So those are all things that people need to be worried about. If we get another big run of corona here, or COVID-19, I guess would be more accurate, we might have this get delayed because of that.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So, I'm excited.
But I mean, that's the world we live in.
It's actually got 18 days to go. They wanted a $12,902 goal. They're at $1.1 million. And this is what Creality always does. They always do this. Let me see if... Oh, so they've only done 2 Kickstarters. Okay, their other one was for the CR6 SE. That's fair. And Naomi Wu is the project manager, and she has not officially legally backed any projects. So, yeah, I mean, really cool. I guess I'm excited to see it.
It's good for the industry.
I think it is good for the industry because this is what is going to kind of push some of the other maker companies to start looking into this, right?
Yeah. Well, it's a new option, and it's good to always have these new kinds of technologies to explore because, for a lot of people, maybe it's not the best thing, but for some specific applications, it might be perfect, to be able to continuously produce a part or produce really long parts that you're not having to like glue pieces together. The only thing you have to do is have something to take up the other end of it, which I mean, like, they make supports for mills and or lathes, I should say.
Yeah,
to hold the other end of.
Well, at the other end, it's called a tailstock. What's the thing that goes in the middle of a lathe?
It's like it's got a roller on it, and
What the hell is it
that would be
called?
perfect. I've seen them also on like horizontal band saws.
Steady
Like
rest.
if you ever,
It's called a steady rest.
because you'll have like a really long piece of material that you want to cut one end of, but you got to hold up the other end of it. That would actually work perfectly in this application.
It would, and we run some production for quite a few customers, and I'm looking at this saying, that wouldn't be bad, but Man, nah.
Yeah. Yeah.
We've gotten it to where we run 16-hour files, so
Mm.
I can start one early in the morning, and it's done, or I can start one kind of like midday, and it's done the next morning. Um,
Yeah.
and that's kind of like what we prefer to have. I guess we could probably add a few more, but we also wanted to keep the individual prints under 250 grams so that
Mm.
we could run 4 of them on a spool.
Right.
So the one thing I hate is when you have to change a spool mid-print, which
Hmm.
the print that's going on, I guess it's the furthest Prusa that you guys can see off to my right, it's going to make me do. Uh,
Yeah.
Now, it's going to want me to do it probably in 2 hours. I am not waiting that long. It is way too late. But that's just kind of the two big industry updates right now.
Yeah.
Creality did hit their $1 million stretch goal they were hoping for. Prusa, has the new MK3S Plus and the Mini Plus. We're going to be taking a look at, what the new printed parts look like. I know Brad has been furiously reloading the Prusa dev site so he can get the files as soon as they're released from Prusa. Because I know he
He
wants it really
would.
bad too. Oh man,
He really.
look. I'm proud of the maker that boy is becoming, and I'm
He,
glad
he does a good job.
he does. If he didn't have school tomorrow, he'd probably be here hanging out with us.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anything else going on in your world via 3D printing, Tad?
Not too much. The hold on, let me see how this turned out, or is turning out, I should say. Things are printing. So, yeah, the problem was definitely I didn't have enough contact area on the first layer. It was just not stuck on there enough.
Typical. I mean, that's one of the big things that you look for.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
How much? So other than that, not a whole lot. I'm just perusing models for I want to print my aunt a housewarming present. I think I'll do like a very fancy vase or something. So
Lithopanes too, man. Lithopanes make great holiday gifts.
that's true. That would be an interesting like alternative to a Christmas card.
Yes, that would be pretty
Yeah,
cool.
that would be nice.
Do you have white filament?
I do.
Preferably semi-translucent white filament.
I have natural PLA,
It might
which is
work.
kind of a milky.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
might work. It's better with white.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have a semi-translucent white, it works so much better than regular white.
Because
Uh,
it emits a little more light.
yeah, it'll let more light through. Um,
Mm-hmm.
it's 3dp.rocks is the site that we
Hmm.
use for lithopanes. It's a known lithopane website. Um, I don't know. I like doing them. Because they're cool. They make great little, ornaments
Mm-hmm.
by a tree or a backdrop for a menorah. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know what's the other holidays use, so I'm going to be ignorant. Sorry. Uh, but they're really cool gifts. Especially if it's someone that you haven't seen in a while. It could be a
Mm-hmm.
picture of you and your significant other. It could be a picture of them and their significant other. Uh, you know, with Happy Holidays 2020, or it can be a picture of a dumpster fire, because that's really the embodiment of
Of this
2020.
year. Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's pretty bad. Pretty bad. Anyways, I think that's gonna do it. A little bit under 45 minutes, not too bad.
Yeah.
We thank you guys for hanging out with us. Again, just kind of a whatever, kind of normal update. Um, I don't know. Maybe we'll do these like where we have this kind of off the cuff hangout, whatever, talking about it. As we go through the week, pull out some articles from Reddit. I'll keep up more on the low end. I say industry side of things versus you know.
You got to stay engaged.
Well, I can't just be drooling over $1 million DMLS printers all the time, right?
Yeah.
Although we did meet a maker that her day job, she runs an Inconel printer, So I'm excited, and I'm hoping to have her on as a guest. That'd be cool.
That'd be really cool.
Yeah. Anyways, we hope you all had a good time listening to us. Look, we're trying to create content that you all will like. So please reach out to us. There's an email in the description. It's podcast@3dmusketeers.com. Please reach out to us. We would love to hear what you want to hear, because we're just kind of talking about stuff that we like talking about. Regardless of what people want, and we want to know what you guys want to hear. So, and look, we can sit here and BS all day. I mean,
we're pretty good at it, I think.
Lord knows we already do, but we want something that you guys are going to enjoy too. Anyways, I'm Grant. Above me is Tad. Yeah, you're above me in this one, so you're above me. So, hi, Tad. Yeah, there's a reasonable gap between us. I had to, had to
You're
keep
protected.
Oh, I should have measured out so we were 6 feet apart. That would have been funny. That would have been funny. I didn't. Damn it. Missed opportunities. Anyways, as always, this podcast is supported by 3D Musketeers. You can check us out at 3dmusketeers.com. We hope you enjoyed this one. Take care. Call your loved ones. Let them know you love them, especially during these times. And hey, if you're in America, we hope you had a great Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Tell us, comment below or email us. Tell us your favorite food from Thanksgiving. And if it's something interesting, maybe we'll ask for the recipe and we'll talk about it. Maybe we'll see how we can add 3D printing to it. Give me a reason to get back in the kitchen and make something. All right, we'll see you guys later.
See ya.